What if love and grief pushed you to cross a line between life and death? Bring Her Back 2025 is a suspenseful psychological thriller that mixes elements of horror, loss, and moral ambiguity. At its core, the film asks, how far would you go to undo tragedy? This recap explores the setup, the characters, the themes, and the chilling atmosphere, without revealing the climax or late film twists. Think of this as a spoiler-safe roadmap through the shadows of the story. This is a spoiler-safe breakdown. We will meet the central characters, outline the early tragedy that sets the story in motion, describe the tone, and highlight the questions raised about memory, morality, and obsession. We will not reveal the ending or the final twist, leaving those for you to experience firsthand. The film begins with a devastating loss that changes the protagonist's life forever. The death of a loved one leaves a void, creating the emotional foundation for everything that follows. The atmosphere is heavy, intimate, and raw, establishing grief as the engine of the story. The main character is consumed by guilt, sorrow, and longing. They are portrayed as sympathetic but unstable, someone the audience can relate to even as their choices grow darker. Their grief isolates them, making them vulnerable to suggestions, temptations, and dangerous opportunities that might promise healing. The lost figure is not simply a memory. Through flashbacks and fragments of conversation, we see their influence on the protagonist's identity. Their absence is a character in itself, shaping the decisions and unraveling sanity of the person left behind. Other figures populate the story. Friends who try to help, doctors who warn of danger, mentors or strangers who tempt the protagonist with forbidden knowledge. Each supporting character becomes a mirror, reflecting different ways of dealing with grief, acceptance, denial, obsession, or manipulation. The story shifts when the protagonist is presented with a possibility, a way to bring back the loved one or at least a shadow of them. Whether through science, ritual, or a mysterious technology, the chance is seductive. The film does not frame this as an easy decision but as the beginning of a descent where hope and horror intertwine. Attempts to reconnect with the lost loved one begin small, subtle disturbances, fleeting moments, things that might be coincidence. But as the protagonist pushes further, the consequences grow. The boundary between reality and imagination begins to blur, making the audience question whether the return is miraculous or monstrous. The film emphasizes that grief can become obsession. What starts as love transforms into control, and what begins as healing becomes haunting. The protagonist's inability to let go is both tragic and terrifying, anchoring the story in emotional truth even as it drifts into supernatural or psychological horror. At the midpoint, the protagonist uncovers a truth that reframes the journey. Without spoiling details, it becomes clear that the attempt to bring her back is not what it seems. This revelation raises the stakes, transforming the story from private grief to something larger and more dangerous. The movie thrives on unease. Dark, claustrophobic spaces emphasize isolation. Mirrors, shadows, and recurring symbols remind viewers of memory's persistence. The score alternates between soft, mournful notes and jarring bursts of sound, reflecting the protagonist's unstable state of mind. As the story pushes forward, the risks multiply. Relationships fracture, the protagonist's judgment falters, and the boundary between the living and the dead weakens. We stop here, avoiding the climax, but it is clear that the choices ahead will demand impossible sacrifices. Bring Her Back works because it combines emotional depth with chilling suspense. The performances capture raw grief while the direction builds dread with restraint, letting atmosphere carry as much weight as shock. The writing ensures that even the supernatural elements feel like extensions of human sorrow. So where do we leave the story? With a protagonist caught between love and obsession, a temptation that cannot be trusted, and a world where the cost of defying loss may be worse than loss itself. The climax is left untold, but the stage is set. Bring Her Back is a story about love, grief, and the danger of refusing to let go.